I believe that when you get to be a CEO of a public company, usually by then, especially if it's a tech company, you have a fair amount of equity in the company, which investors like.
Yes.
And then you get incremental grants. And because of what's happened with CEO compensation, you get pretty large equity grants.
Sure.
And I've come to the realization that I don't need any more stock in DocuSign to make me 100. If I had no, I love the company. I'd be committed with no economic connection.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of stock already. And so I'm going to take all my incremental grants and donate the money from those grants to individual nonprofits in the cities where we operate. And the first one we're doing is the Boys and Girls Club and building the new clubhouse.
I love that.
Yeah,
That is
great.
so
And
wonderful.
I'm hoping some other CEOs might say,
Yeah.
do I really need that extra? Like, what am I really going to do with that?
Yeah.
I have
How much
everything I
money
need.
do you really need to
Yeah,
be happy?
Yeah, and to try to set an example, because there's a new concept about comparing the CEO compensation to the median employee, and so a lot of CEOs are upset saying, oh, it doesn't make me look very good. And I'm saying, I got a great way to solve that problem.
Yeah.
Give away the equity portion, which is the bulk of where the compensation comes from.
Well, there was an interesting report that just came out this week with a lot of the world's top leaders, a lot of the top thinkers of our day really think that is right up there with one of the biggest crises we're facing, right up there with climate change, is economic inequality. So what are some of the best practices that you use to encourage your coworkers, colleagues, friends, whomever, to become more engaged on social problems and perhaps even take the lead on social problems?
Yeah. Well, one thing we're starting to try to do at DocuSign specifically is with that DocuSign Impact Foundation that you talked about, we created the model of matching gifts, right? And so we said, if you guys will make donations to organizations that you personally are excited about, we'll match them, which is common. But we have a challenge. We have a lot of young employees that live in cities like San Francisco and Seattle, and they're expensive cities to live in. So even though they have what most people would consider healthy salaries, they don't think of themselves, as having sort of extra disposable income.
Yeah.
So we're trying to change that mentality and start to do things like double matches and triple matches.
Oh.
And we also have a thing called dollars for doers. So if you don't have extra dollars you want to give, if you give your hours of time, we'll give dollars where you did nonprofit
That's a
hours.
great idea.
To try to get people into this mode, because I think they'll be happier, as I told you before, they'll be happier people if they're helping others and giving. And so we're trying to get even more aggressive with pushing our employees to not only donate their time, as we've always done, but to make financial contributions as well.